So welcome. This is the Pioneer Network Training Session 1, and we'll cover culture change and what that means for your St. Francis Health Services Care Center. So the title of this educational session is St. Francis and Pioneer Network Envisioning the Future Together. And we're connected, and so I'm going to talk about how St. Francis Health Services and Pioneer Network are collaborating to build person-centered care. But to demonstrate this, we're going to do a little icebreaker exercise. Usually this works best when we're in a group in a room, but since we are doing this webinar based, we have to kind of adapt it a little bit. And so I will begin by sharing something about myself, and when you hear something that you can relate to or something that you connect with, or have something in common with me, go ahead and unmute yourself, or you can put in the chat if you don't have audio and say, I'm connected. And then you will tell something about yourself, um, and then we'll have other people connect and keep going for a few times here. So I'll start, and when you hear something, you say, I'm connected. Now, there is a little bit of a rule that we want to apply here, and that is we don't want you to tell us what your occupation is or where you work, because we know that, we all kind of have that in common. And so let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm Marla, and I live in Hancock, and I'm married, and I have 2 adult children, a son and a daughter. Anybody connect with me yet? If so, say I'm connected. And we do have some of you that are here in groups. And so if you want to do them in your groups in those care centers, that's perfectly fine. But otherwise, those individually, if we could have somebody in the chat say I'm connected, or if you could unmute yourself. Um, oh, I see. Heard somebody. Somebody want to talk? All right, nobody's connected to me yet? Okay, and I have a dog. He's a poodle, and he's a poodle beagle cross. I like chocolate. I'm connected, yay. All right, Brooke says she's connected. So Brooke, can you tell us about something about yourself? She has 3 dogs, so she connects that way. And Brooke, can you tell us some things about yourself? Brooke lives in Chisholm, Minnesota. Brooke has 3 horses and 2 chickens. We connect. Brooke enjoys the outdoors. Josh, I see you're unmuted. Connect anyway. It's probably not fair. You want to give us a little more, Brooke, and see if we can get a connection? Anybody connect yet with Brooke? Well, I think people are really quiet this morning. Anyhow, I bet there's a lot of people on that enjoy the outdoors. And so, like I said, this works better like if you're in a group, but I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a flavor of how we are all connected. And we do this little exercise to not only get to know one another, but it shows that we all have some things in common, and it allows us to get to know one another and discover some similarities and common interest, and maybe even a shared history. And so why would, in addition to that, why else do you think this is important to do a little bit of an exercise like this? Can you think about anything? And feel free to talk, unmute yourself, or put something in the chat. Brooke also says she's the oldest of 4 siblings, still trying to make a connection there. Why else do you think an exercise like this is really important to do? Well, other responses that we've had in the past is that it really creates team building. And then, as we do something like this, we see people more as than just their role that they hold in the organization. We can recognize, that there's a lot more and see them more as a person, identify talents and skills. And really, maybe it'll allow us an opportunity to learn more about one another and know one another better. So thanks for participating in that, those of you who did. And I know our groups probably did that on their own. Okay, so as we think about connection, on this slide are 2 mission statements, and we want to show that Pioneer Network and St. Francis Health Services are connected and that we are collaborating together. And so up on the screen, you see the 2 mission statements. I don't know if anybody would be interested in reading. If you are, you can unmute. Anybody interested in reading the 2 mission statements? Otherwise, I'll go ahead and read them. The St. Francis Health Services mission is expressing Christ's love by providing care that values human life. And the Pioneer Network mission statement says, empowering a network of senior living and care communities by fostering person-directed practices and environments. So as you look at this, what ties these statements together? Any words that stick out or anything that seems common between the two? Anybody want to put something in the chat or say something? All right, I know that in other educational sessions, people have pointed out that in the St. Francis mission, we have values human life, and that can be connected back to the Pioneer Network mission of empowering a network of senior living, so empowering individuals. At St. Francis Health Services, we do value every life, and we can empower people, hearing their voice and value by creating environments that reflect home. And care is a common word. As we listen to those we care for and get to know them and hear how they want to live their lives, we convey value of human life and create community as we foster an environment that supports their individual lives. And so now I'm going to bring up, and hopefully you may have gotten this handout ahead of time, but if not, you can ask the trainer in your care center. Each of our care centers has a Pioneer Network trainer. And if you did not receive this, you can reach out to them. Otherwise, you can call or email me if you want me to send it out to you. But it's 2-sided, and I actually have a laminated copy, and that might be nice for you to have too, to keep so you can refer to it. You can see on the camera I have a laminated copy, and it does have a front side and a back side. But on the front side is the Pioneer Network values and principles, and then the mission statement is on the back, as well as some more information. But we're going to just look at this front side here, and I'm going to give you a minute just to read through that on your own. Now, if you are on a computer and the image seems a little bit small, you can toggle over your screen and then increase the size. But otherwise, go ahead and read through these values and principles on your own. And as you're reading through them, and as you look through this list, pick out a value or a principle that speaks to you. Choose one that you really think really speaks specifically to you. and then focus on that for a little bit as you read through the list. As you're doing that, does anybody want to let us know which one kind of pops out at you on these values and principles? And go ahead and type it in the chat or on mute. Anything stand out? As being a value that is important to you? And for those of you in your group there, you can certainly discuss that too amongst yourselves. Okay, so we're going to move on then. But as you look at these values and principles, think about what they mean to you and how have you seen each one put into action. And then how does that value, especially the one that you were focused on, how does that value support the St. Francis mission? And think about that as you look at that. All right, we're going to expand on this just a little bit more. I'm just going to minimize this and move to our next slide. At St. Francis Health Services, we also have core values, and some of you may be very familiar with those. And so I'm going to discuss each of these values, and then we're going to tie in the core Pioneer Network values and principles. And so you can reference that if you do have that still in front of you there as we look at each of these St. Francis core values. So integrity, we adhere to high principles and professional standards. And from the Pioneer perspective, that would mean that we practice self-examination, searching for new creativity and opportunities for doing better. And then commitment, we dedicate ourselves to those we serve. And then under the Pioneer Network values, we could insert under commitment, we could insert know each person, put person before task. And then respect, we value and treat each other with compassion and dignity. And the Pioneer Network values that fall under this could be each person can and does make a difference. Relationship is the fundamental building block of a transformed culture. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And risk-taking is a normal part of life. And then excellence, we have the passion to do our best. And the Pioneer Network vision for this that is emphasized here is a culture of aging that is life-affirming, satisfying, humane, and meaningful. And service, we contribute to the well-being of others. And Pioneer Network, out of those values, we respond to spirit as well as body and mind. All elders are entitled to self-determination wherever they live. Promote the growth and development of all. And community is the antidote to institutionalization. And then finally, stewardship. We wisely manage all resources God entrusted to us. And under here, we shape and use the potential of the environment in all its aspects, physical, organizational, psychosocial, and spiritual. And then Pioneer Network says that we recognize that culture change and transformation are not destinations, but a journey, and it's always a work in progress. And so you're going to hear three terms used, sometimes interchangeably, but they do have subtle differences. And so I want to go through that with you. Person-centered care is about the practices that support the individual. And person-directed care is about what the resident directs about their own life choices and care needs. And culture change is how we do what we do. So let me review those again. Person-centered care is about the practices that support the individual. And then person-directed care is about what the resident directs about their own life choices and care needs. And culture change is how we do what we do. So let's look at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS for short, and let's look at the definition of person-centered care. And on your slide there in the middle is the definition: to focus on the resident as the locus of control and support the resident in making their own choices and having control of their daily lives. And in the upper right hand corner there, you can see some dates. And this was first introduced into regulations in 1989. So this concept of person-centered care has been around for a while. But in 1989 is where it all started. And then this definition for person-centered care was added to the regulations when they were revised in 2018. Note the role of the resident as being the locus of control and the role of providers in supporting choice and residents having control over their daily lives. And some people kind of wonder about locus of control or don't quite understand what that means. And so there is a breakout definition there at the bottom. The locus of control, this is the degree to which people believe that they, as opposed to external forces beyond their influence, have control over the outcome of events in their lives. And St. Francis Health Services is on a journey to transform its culture to make the progression from institutional or traditional models of care to more individualized, person-centered, directed practices that embrace choice and autonomy. People are people no matter what the age, and as you think about your own choices, values, and preferences, remind yourself that those we care for want to make their own choices and have individual preferences and desires too. That does not go away when they move in. It does not go away as they age. And we need to work as a care partner team to improve the culture around this. And so to end this educational session, I do have a video for you. Let me pull that up for you here. So growing older presents limitless opportunities to pursue joy and meaning wherever we call community. Aging is the path to lifelong learning, growth, and connection regardless of changes we face. Pioneer Network is working to bury stereotypical views and combat ageism. Helping others understand and experience life in a fulfilling way creates a culture of care and support we all desire. Let's celebrate the virtues of aging together. And that ends this educational session. So thank you all for being here today. Are there any questions on this content? And I wanted to let you know that for those of you who are attending this live educational session, as I am an RN, I can offer CEUs for you, and I will get those certificates sent out to your Train the Trainer in your care center. And if you don't happen to receive your certificate in the next couple of weeks, please feel free to reach out to me. And I do have my number here. I meant to put that up on the screen. Reach out to me by email, or you may call me. Any questions? If not, thank you all and have a good day.